Warriors Unite! Back with another episode of Egar Warriors 2 in the 1% Club. How you guys doing, my friends? Hope you guys doing well. Hope you guys are on your conquest, conquesting yourselves, conquesting other things around you on this great Sunday evening. So, we're all following purposes, my friends. All trying to follow God's purposes. We're all trying to identify what those are. And this is the key to it. Now, I've had lots of people talking to me that they don't believe this, or they have trouble with semen retention. And, you know, we have all these cultists that think we're cultists, things like that. The idea, guys, is self-control. This has been around through the ages. Just because this world right now has gone away from the idea of self-control and lascivious behaviors doesn't mean that what we're doing is wrong. And I think it's important warriors understand that. So we're going to get into a topic that's interesting right now. But first, I'll go back to my sheet here. Let's go to some shout-outs. Austin Roberts, 2 of them, my friend. Shout-out to you. Ivan Tereb, thank you, my friend. Talking about that I am 63. I will be 63 years old in June. So thank you guys for that. Don Juan, thank you, my friend. Looking good. I appreciate those comments, guys. I feel tremendous. I did get a little bit of my beard shaved off for a party I had last night, but coming back, my friend, coming back. Zackilla, 2, don't count the days, make the days count. I love that saying, my friend. Zackilla, shout out to you, my friend. Don't count the days, make the days count. Every day is a new day to a great warrior. And guys, if you stay on your purpose, ignore women. Do not pay attention to women. Ignore them, and you'll find that you're highly attractive because women will worry, what is going on here? What is the issue? If you really want women, but on the other hand, remember, guys, you're trying to hold your energy. You don't want temptation. It all fits together. We'll talk about it in a second. But great comments, Zackilla. Wof Yt, thank you, my friend. Captain Abdi, thank you. Glrybzgd, thank you. Chris G. Abstuct 1015, thank you, my friend. Imhymn, thank you. Bob Matthews, thank you, my friend. Good job. I'm trying to respond more to more, and I appreciate your comments. Thank you. William B. Luxury it is. Thank you, my friend. Do I experience female attraction all the time? Yes, I do. We all do. You know, it's amazing to me. The more you don't care about this and the more you care about your purpose and your goals, the less you think about women that are important. Women are not that important. Now, I'm not saying women are wrong, bad. Don't get me wrong, guys. Don't get me wrong. Companionship is great, and it's important to have women in your life. But your mindset has to be that they're not that important on the grand scale of things. What's important is for you to be able to achieve God's purposes. Therefore, women are a minute issue. If you look at it that way, and you think of it that way, all of a sudden you're not putting women on a pedestal. You're treating them like everybody else. You're just saying that I have time, my own time, purposes. If you want to fit into my time, great. If not, I'm happy being alone. This is a key thing, my friends. A key thing when it comes to this. Now, let's talk about our topic here. Thank you guys for all your shout-outs, by the way. So, 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Let's talk about the topic a little bit. So, HB Art Cover Music had a great question here, and I know I'm finally getting to it, so I apologize for not getting to it sooner. Why have sex if you can't release during semen retention? Now, great question. So, we go back to the whole idea, the misnomer, the blue matrix we're talking about, the idea that you're supposed to have sex all the time. It's healthy for you. It is great to have sex one night, every night of the week. It's great to have multiple partners. All this stuff has been brainwashed into us over time. Well, you look at the Bible, you look at certain tendencies of religions, you'll figure out that the only reason people had sex, well, they should have sex, by the way, is to procreate, to have children. We don't talk about just having sex and releasing. And the Bible even talks about discharges being unclean for 7 days. You're not supposed to discharge, only if you're procreating. And the idea, guys, is still solid after all these thousands of years. But this society's got to twist it for a lot of reasons. I believe there is a idea here of trying to reduce the society. The Satan one's taken over, the evil one's taken over, trying to tempt people. The temptation is sex, gambling, drugs, all these type of things are there. And they're putting people to a position where they're becoming weaker. Men are weaker, women are weaker, and all of a sudden now it's easy to control people when they're weak, when they're not strong. If you become strong and you're able to say no, and you're choosing when to do these type of things, then you have better control of yourself. And this is the key to everything that we see. We go back to self-control. It starts with the hardest thing in the world to control, and that's your semen retention. That's why we pick it. That's why I said this to a couple people who didn't, asking me what are the benefits and all this kind of stuff, because they weren't believing in it. And I understand that. 47 years, I had trouble with this whole idea myself. But the bottom line really is the fact that you are given a body, your temple of God. You don't give away your stuff unless you're trying to create something God wanted you to create through a marriage situation, through any kind of relationship that God has blessed. Now you're trying to go ahead and have, children. And that procreation is, I think, valuable and appropriate, in my opinion. Now, when you look at the situation then, you're talking about why have sex then if you're not releasing? Well, the bottom line is you're only releasing not for pleasure, which people do all the time. You're releasing for procreation. So what your purpose is all different. This is where the mindset changes. Now, because of this, if you adopt this attitude, which men do have, now you become highly valuable. The downside of this is women will chase you all over the place because they see you as someone who doesn't really think about women, who don't care about women. Basically, you're ignoring women. You're basically just doing your own thing. And because you're doing your own thing, now women find you mysterious, intriguing. They want to come after you because they see as someone who is different. And they feel that energy you have. They stare at you. I've had these people stare at me. Guys, this warrior is 63, almost 63 years old. And the bottom line, guys, is the fact that, I'm getting more attention now from females and young females, 20 years old, things like this. It's incredible to me. And the only explanation is not me, of course, not God. It's the idea that I don't care anymore. I have other things I'm doing. I'm on my purpose. I'm trying to get better physically, spiritually, mentally. I'm trying to take care of my family. I'm trying to do this. I don't have that type of thing. My relationship with my wife is 10 times better because I don't care. I don't put the mistake we have go back to that crazy Disney model that was around a long time ago, back in the Sleeping Beauty times, back in the 1930s and 40s, where the person who is the prince is chasing and trying to get the love of the princess. BS on all that, my friends. BS. That's wrong. You are the desirable one because you have that seed. This is an illusion. This has been an illusion for many, many years. The trouble is when women get this, they get this attention, and women love attention, then all of a sudden they feel like they haven't earned it, and they are getting bored. If you are always flowering your person with, different types of gifts and things like that, they'll get tired of it. Now, if it's in balance, that's fine. And this person makes you happy, that's wonderful. But remember, guys, you are the person who has that power. You're the protector. You're the provider. God is working with you. Go back to Adam and Eve. Who was born first? Adam was born first. Eve is out of Adam. The idea, guys, is that you are the one who is the leader of the family, of the communities, things like that. And so you have to sit there and say to yourself, okay, how do I become that leader? You don't become that leader by becoming some kind of simp to these women. You don't be that way. You're not putting women on a pedestal. As great as women are, I love women. Women are wonderful. I love talking to women. I love companionship. I love talking with them. They're wonderful, wonderful people, human beings. Wonderful. I have no trouble with them. But they should not be putting on a pedestal. You should not put them above you. I used to do that. It was a big mistake. I learned the hard way many times of that mistake. So now we talk about this question again. We're talking about why have sex It's a good question. Why are we having sex? What is the purpose of having sex? Or even releasing in the first place? You go back to the images you see, all these books, all these magazines, all these movies, all these films, things you see. What is the purpose of releasing? You're getting a short-term release, which you think is going to be satisfying. What happens? Most people fall asleep. And then they feel guilty, which is what I felt. You feel guilty because you really are not supposed to be doing this. Because under God's rule, your Creator's rule, He is trying to keep you as fit as you can, your temple as strong as possible throughout your whole life. And the only time you're giving up that temple is to basically create another human being. And the woman needs you to create that thing. And so, this illusion we see is a big illusion, right? Why do you think the makeup industry is so popular? Why do you think there's so much money in how people image and look? Because women, if you put women without makeup and things, how many men would be attracted to women? How many men would be attracted to a woman walking down the street in an overcoat compared to a bikini? Just think about that for a second. We are set up an illusionary for men to draw to women. You don't see a lot of men walking around naked all the time or half naked. You don't see that. Because what's happening is men are supposed to be chasing women in this world we're in. But I would posit and I would push guys, you out of a box here a little bit, to start thinking of that it's really the opposite. The old saying was, the man chases the woman until the woman catches him. That's the whole idea of the mystery the woman has. And like I said, I love women. Women are wonderful. I have nothing bad to say about women ever. But the bottom line really is that men have to be strong for women. Men have to be strong for children, women, animals, everybody else. Your domain. Your domain. And the bottom line really is the only way you become strong is controlling yourself. Controlling your anger. Controlling your addictions. And it starts with self-control of the biggest addiction of all. And that's your sexual drive. And your drive starts then obviously with retention. And that's what it comes down to. And I explained that to somebody who had a question, who kind of was suspicious of this whole thing and basically thought it wasn't making any sense. But the idea, guys, is that we're told something different in our world every day. And if you watch your TV, if you watch your internet, you'll see that. We're told you should be chasing women around having sex every night with somebody. If you're not doing that, something's wrong with you. You should be having intercourse all the time. You should be releasing all the time. That is the best way to get sexual dysfunctions, and the best way to drain yourself faster than anything. It takes almost like 70 days to recreate a lot of that energy you lost. So the idea, guys, is that you want to stay as strong as possible in your temple. And when you're releasing for the purpose not of just quick pleasure. You're releasing, and fapping is interesting. This whole idea of fapping is what the problem is. And I think I've been no fap or something like that for 1,200 some days now. But the idea, guys, is you're trying to accomplish things, your goals, under God's purposes. And if you follow God, your Creator's purposes, now you're doing things to make yourself better, right? And I think the whole idea you're looking at is to become that strong man, that high-value man you need. High-value men don't sit there and want to have sex all the time. In fact, basically, they're too busy achieving things. They're too busy on their purpose and goals. All you got to do is look at some men who are driven to achieve things. Whether it's Tesla in the old days, look at history. A lot of those men fell apart when they started having sex and probably releasing. Who knows, It's because their mind got distracted. And the idea that you want to focus on is keeping your focus. Don't lose your focus because some woman is there and she's tempting you, or she wants your attention. Now, women, they will come after you And like I said, I see it all the time. I see it all the time. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're married or not. In fact, it's even worse. Because women are emotional creatures. If they sense your energy and they sense the fact that you're ignoring them, wow, you got more women than you can even hold. I don't care if you're married. I don't care if you're 85 years old. The idea, guys, is that women want your attention. They want you distracted to be able to spend attention on them. The whole story of Cleopatra was like that, going back to thousands of years ago. The Egyptian queens, all these people. The women's attitude is that you should be focusing on them instead of everything else you're doing. If you start focusing on other things, they get upset. In fact, they get mad. And you have to really be able to keep focused and concentrating on your goals all the time. And your goal should not be having sex every night to people. In fact, your goal should not even have sex unless you want to procreate. Now, I understand that when I'm talking to most of the warriors out there, this is kind of a crazy statement Vigor Warrior is saying here. But I want you to think about that a little bit. Give some thought to that. We talk about celibacy, brahmacharya. We're talking about sophism. We're talking about holding on to that valuable resource you have within yourself so that you can grow and become stronger and stronger. I haven't ever felt this way I'm feeling right now. I've lost about 75 pounds. You know, I'm benching again. I'm walking 30,000 steps almost a day, 25,000, 30s, you know, and it's just tremendous. I have the energy, and I'm working 60. My schedule in teaching, consulting, tutoring, all these things that I do during the day goes from 6:30 in the morning to 11 o'clock at night. I come home and work an hour, and I get up the next morning at 4:30, 5 o'clock. It's because of the retention. It's because of the self-control. It's because it's a renewed life that you have. And you can't explain that to somebody unless you're on this for a period of time. You realize you have a renewed life. You are looking at life a totally different way. I'm not interested in women. You know, they're not. I enjoy talking with women. I love talking to women. I could talk with women all, but I'm not interested in sleeping with women. At this point, I'm not interested. I'm a wife. I'm fine. I am not interested. That is not my highest priority. If it happens with one of my wife, that's great. But the bottom line is you got to be focused on a different attitude mindset. This is a lifestyle change, warriors. And you have to be committed to this. This is why it took me 47 years to get committed. I finally said I had nothing to lose. I mean, I was off and on and not having success sometimes, no success other times. And I finally said, the heck with it. I'm getting to the point, I'm 59 years old. I'm getting to the point where, you know, it could be my end soon. So give it a try. It's right before COVID. Give it a try. And I had time because COVID hit and all of a sudden we're staying at home. But the bottom line then, guys, is that as you do this more and more, now you realize that this is the life. This is what God's talking about. This is what your Creator's talking about. This is the reality, not the fake world we're living in. This is the real world that Christ is talking about. And this is where the Bible talks about the fact that you have a spiritual world and you talk about a real world. And the bottom line really is you're in the spiritual world, even though we look like we're in a physical world. Don't get conned in the physical world thinking, okay, we got to go have sex all the time. We got to go to parties. We got to do this. We got to smoke. We got to do this kind of stuff. Don't get conned doing that, my friends, because you're going to be up the wrong alley and you're going to be self-destructing yourself. And now you're not filling your Creator's purpose. So a great question you're asking, and I think it's a great question. The answer, in my opinion, this is, once again, I give you my opinion. I'm not going with scientific research. This is something that I believe in my heart. After all these years, 62 and 3/4 years living, is the idea that you only have sex when you're procreating. And the rest of the time, you're focusing on your purpose, your intent, your plan for God's purpose in life. And I think I finally have found that, helping young people, as I do every day, and trying to become, especially young men, trying to become men. They don't have dads. They don't have people around them as role models. I'm in an inner city, so I see inner cities all the time, whether it's Chicago, New York, Boston. I travel a lot. Inner cities, I see this all the time. They don't have role models. And men need to be strong. And we see a lot of young men not learning how to be strong and controlling themselves. If you can't control yourself, you're not controlling anything else. And that's the bottom line. All right, my friend, like Stone Cold Steve Austin says, that's the bottom line. So, again, my friends, hope you guys have a great night. Hope you guys are on your purpose. We'll talk with you guys the next time. But remember 2 things as I always leave you. And we said it before. Every day is a great day to a great warrior. And number 2, we got to continue to battle on!